our guest here today, Brooke Ashley.
Our good friend.
Yeah,
Brooke Ashley,
sometimes
yes.
AKA Ashley Brooke. But,
Yes, I know. It's because we have a
Having two
niece,
first
Ashley.
names, I'm
Yeah.
telling
Yeah.
you.
No,
we have a
but
niece, Ashley. Well, I love all my nieces and nephews, but like, I'm like, oh, it's Ash. And I'm like, no, it's Brooke.
yeah. But thank you for coming.
Yes.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you guys so much for the
Yeah.
opportunity. I'm super excited to be here. This is such a beautiful space you have, and your team
Thank you.
was so
Yes.
welcoming. You guys have such a great place that you get to work out of every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're fortunate. I mean,
So
it's sometimes it can be difficult with work-life balance.
Yeah.
But obviously without Bean and I being married, there isn't much of a balance there. It's all work. It seems like right now.
Lately.
But
lately.
the people we work with, the company we work with and for is second to none. And
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of saw the quick kind of overview,
Mhm.
but everyone here is servant, have the servant heart type thing. So it's we want to give back. We want to have an impact. That's why we named our team the Impact Lending Team.
Mhm.
That's moving forward. What the company's identity is going to be. We identify with that and we take it to heart. And so, we're going to talk about obviously real estate and mortgage, but having an impact on the communities that we live and serve means more than just closing loans or selling homes. It's giving back. It's building relationships with people that may never need a home or may never have the ability to afford a home, but still loving on them and having letting them know that they have value and helping however we can. So, and I know you have a servant heart. You're a very sweet person. I know met your husband a couple of times. Sweet man, adorable family. So, we want to spotlight people that we feel that are successful and also have that same heart, that same mentality, and are doing the right thing. You and I have known each other for years.
A very long
Yeah.
time.
And, I've always admired the business that you do because you take it so personal. Right.
Take it to heart. Yeah.
Right. You have that loving touch when it comes to, I'm going to help these people achieve their goals, and, you take it personal. They become family to you. It's outside looking in. Right. And so that means something to us, and we want to align ourselves with people that have the same mentality as us, right? We're on the same page, same frequency.
Yes.
So
I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, and I love that you guys named that the Impact Team.
Yeah.
That was so awesome that you did that.
Yeah.
And I feel the exact same. I feel like our communities are so important to our kiddos that are growing up in our communities and
100%.
our kiddos and
Mhm.
the impact that it will make for years and years to come for at least the little things.
Yeah.
They add up to all the big things. And what you guys do for your community that you've told me about, I think that it reaches way beyond anything that we'll probably ever know.
Right.
So I love that you guys do that, and that's the core and the heart of why you do what you do.
Mhm.
I just admire it so much, and I'm so glad you asked me to be here today.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
so sweet.
it's the term Ryan Hills actually coined it. I'm not sure if it came directly from him, but that's who I heard it from. So I'll give him credit. But he calls it the lighthouse effect,
Yes.
right? So essentially the lighthouse is to ensure that boats aren't running into the rocks, and some you're aware of that came really close, and you get acknowledgement like, hey, thank you for saving us. But there's probably countless other people that
Right.
you've impacted, right? You've helped, and you may never even know. And
Yeah.
so part of doing what we're doing here as far as the podcast and video and talking with people like you is to have conversations in front of people that we may have when we're having lunch or meeting with clients or whatever, but it's putting it out there because someone may need to hear what you have to say, right? They might be in that situation where it resonates with them, and because there's value in that. You may not help them get into a home, but you may help them in other capacities. What we talk about often with our friends on here, with those relationships that we're building, is it goes a little bit deeper than just the mortgage and real estate side. Yeah. We can take this business very seriously, or we can have fun with it and realize, okay, there's more than just mortgage involved, right? There's more than just real estate involved. So, I mean, speaking of more than just real estate, you were squatting a couch this morning
Yeah.
before you got here.
We got to get our work out in somehow, right? So
Exactly.
that's part of
So
it.
tell that
Yeah.
story because that's
Yes.
kind of funny.
Yeah.
The behind the scenes that a lot of real estate agents
Yes.
and trusted real estate advisors go through on like an average basis is something I'm surprised there's not a reality TV show for it yet.
Yes.
Because Selling Sunset is
Right.
crap. Sorry, like, but it is not reality in any way,
Yeah.
shape, or form.
Yes.
What happens before a listing goes live is sometimes months of work. It is me vacuuming, cleaning, having my amazing partner, who, if you guys already know, is my
Yes.
amazing mother who
Yes.
got me into this business,
Love her.
staging, and we have sweat running down our backs, and we are moving things around. And because it's so important that people understand
Sure.
that our compensation is all results driven.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I would say 90% of the time, I pay for my own commission up front
Mhm.
by doing the little things, by getting the nasty couch out of the house and into the garage, even if it is in my Tory Burch
Right.
heels. And like, and just going that extra mile
Yes.
to bring in the experts to make a space shine and to do it
Mhm.
all. I just feel like every little bit matters, and it goes back to like The Go Giver, which is my favorite book of all time. It's all about going the extra mile, and if you can turn it up even a little bit more, turn it up just a little bit more. Do that one extra thing.
Mhm.
Stay those extra 10 minutes and sweep the floor, mop the floor,
Mhm.
shake out the rugs, open the drapes. I can't tell you how many homes that I've seen that are listed where I actually feel pretty sad that their real estate professional didn't take the time to
Right.
give them the opportunity to make the extra 15 to 50,000
Yeah.
off
Right.
of the real little things that can make a big difference by just literally an extra 2
Yeah.
hours of work. So if it means, to your point, like
Yeah.
going and squatting a couch, yes, I was 100% doing that. But I do think it made a big difference. And I think that my client is going to be so
Sure.
happy with her results at
Sure.
the end. And,
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to ever leave money on the table for anybody.
Well, not only that, the neighbors are watching, because we
Right.
all like to see that open house.
I'm
We
a
all
little
want to see
afraid
what
of
did
what
they
they
do in
saw
that
today,
house.
though.
And so, but then they'll see, like, okay, she moved a couch. She was squatting a couch. She could do that over here for us when
True.
that time comes for, so you're not just representing that person.
Well,
You're representing that whole neighborhood, really.
and I love this gal so much. I helped her sell her first condo over 12 years ago.
Wow.
And
Gosh, what a relationship you built
it's
there.
so
Yeah.
great. And I call her, just a couple times a year to check in, ask
Yeah.
how things are. I send her my Sea Hog magnets that if you're
Love
a
it.
client of mine, like
Mhm.
it's
Yes.
I love doing that. But it was so cool today because when I walked in, she had the last 10 years of Sea Hog magnets literally on the side of her fridge.
Wow.
And it just made me feel so
Yeah.
special and important. Like she actually kept those.
Sure.
And
Right?
I think that, I don't know, it just made me feel really special and important that she had kept those, and that, staying in flow with her and being there for her all of these years later is going to be able to help her sell this home and buy her grandma's house that she grew up in over in Bonnie Lake, which is
Wow.
why we're
Wow.
doing a really quick
Yeah.
turnaround to sell, because we're currently contingent on her
Yay.
buying her grandma's
Yay.
house for
Nice.
which has always been her dream.
Yeah.
So
And it goes back to those
Full
little
circle.
things, right?
Mhm.
It's those extra little things that
yeah,
kept you current in her mind.
yeah,
And of course, keeping all your
it was so cute.
all your magnets. But I mean, obviously, she appreciated that. So
yeah.
So
So that was pretty cool to see
Mhm.
today, and just generational wealth and seeing what real estate can do for my clients. I just never grow old of it ever.
right? Yeah.
It's been 23 years, and
Yeah.
I
That's
still
incredible. That's incredible.
love what I do,
Yeah.
which I think is something that not a lot of people can say about their career choice.
Right.
And I feel so lucky that I found it
Yeah.
at such a young age.
Well, and you just touched on it, generational wealth.
Yes.
You started at 18.
Yeah.
Wow.
Let me tell you
know.
though, selling homes with a
Right?
fax
What a-
machine when you're 18, that it actually lended itself some help. because
Yes,
if social
right?
media would have been
Right?
around,
Yes.
no one would have used me. I mean, to make their largest financial transaction that they'll probably make
Sure.
until they buy or sell another home.
Right.
I don't know that I would have trusted an 18-year-old, but a lot of times, back then we had the Thomas Book guides
Yeah.
and we had the
Mhm.
fax machines and we had our cold calls and our walk-ins. You remember a lot
Yeah.
of that stuff.
Yep.
But yeah.
It's a lot of it's kind of coming full circle. I mean, obviously social media, I mean, things are email and all that stuff doesn't really, adhere there, but I mean, getting back to basics and
Right.
I mean, these markets we've seen, I mean, you've been doing it 23 years. I've been doing almost 19. We've seen cycles and we're in one right now.
Yeah.
And so in my opinion, I think it's a perfect opportunity to pick up market share. But that isn't, I think the market share that we're going after isn't always just, we want the volume, right? We want the relationships.
Right.
Volume will follow, right?
Mhm.
And so you have long-standing relationships that are grandma and granddaughter and all the way through. That again, kind of for those who don't know, I mean, that means something
Yeah.
when you have the entire family, multi-generational, that is using you,
Right.
because our industry can be misconstrued as just a transactional thing, right? It's I always use the analogy like you're not buying a t-shirt, right? It's not something you can take back if it's the wrong color or wrong size, right? We have to understand what we're getting into, but the media doesn't really lead people down that right path. It's a lot of it's misleading, just because it's marketing. It's trying to get the phones to ring,
Right.
and so I get that side of it, but being someone's advocate and doing what you do, squatting in heels and a bodysuit,
I'll be in
above and
those.
beyond, right?
Yes.
Daily
Um,
thing. in the fields.
is you're right. Not everyone's willing to do that,
Yeah.
Right.
so so back to the cycles. We're in an interesting one right now. What are you seeing? Let me take a step back. Business wise, are you heavy on listing side, or are you heavy on buyer side, or are you pretty even, or is that flow with whatever the time is?
So for me, I always am pretty even.
Okay.
I seem to always be pretty even, but I would say right now, if you are thinking of selling, you need to sell
Mm-hmm.
because it is a great time to sell.
Yeah.
We have started seeing multiple offers again. We are starting to see a lot of sellers that are going over price.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my listings are selling between 100 and 103% of list price right now. But more importantly, if you are a buyer, just do it already. Like, it doesn't matter what the interest rates are, to be quite frank. When they go down, refinance, or you can work with an amazing agent who knows amazing lenders like you guys who can do 3-2-1 or 2-1 buy downs, and we can pad the purchase price and we can buy down the rate and we can give you that opportunity for rates to potentially come down for a refinance opportunity. But I feel like the waiting game is always a regretful game every time, whether you're a seller or a buyer.
Right.
And with sellers, generally in May, there's almost a 12% increase. So if you're thinking of selling,
Yes.
I would do it now
Get off that
rather
fence,
than
right.
yes.
Yeah.
Do it now before the spring rush gets here. And for my buyers out there, if you don't know where to start, like, it doesn't have to be super scary. It can be a really
Right.
easy, quick step. It can be a 5-year plan. It can be a 2-year plan. It can be a 6-month plan.
Mhm.
But I think to invest your money on someone else's mortgage every single month, the lady that I'm helping right now, one of my buyers, her name's Renata, and she's been renting the same place for 17 years.
Wow. She would have.
And so
Wow.
that to me is so impactful to be able to
Right.
get her out of that rental rat race and to
Mhm.
say, what if we did this different for your
Right.
next 17 years? What would that look like?
Yeah.
And to really be able to show her what that looks
Mhm.
like and to show her that a house is something that is a necessity. We have to have shelter, period.
Right.
Mhm.
So why not have shelter that gives you back
Right.
and like an earning
Yeah.
at the end of 17 years, an investment at the end of 1 year, 2 year, 3 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know of any stocks or bonds or anything that will consistently produce the results that real estate does. And for me, I think that's why I get so passionate about teaching even someone as young as my sweet, amazing nephew, Landon,
Mhm.
that you can buy a house at 19 years old. And then guess what? By the time you're 25, you get to move up.
Yep.
Then by the time you're 35, you get to have your dream house.
Yep.
All because of the little steps you took
Yep.
to get there just from the beginning. So it doesn't have to be this daunting task.
Right.
You just have to align yourself with great people who can give you the roadmap to success to get you into that home buying journey.
That's the thing. They don't know. And
They don't know.
They have no idea
Yeah.
that they can do it. Like your client that's been renting for 17 years. Like she could have been into a home and building equity at this point. But if you don't know, if you didn't grow up that way, right? You have no idea.
Right.
So it does take surrounding yourself with the right people to kind of think outside of that box that you've, I don't want to say put yourself in, but that you've been in, you know?
And it was so funny because how I met this lady yesterday was I was putting up a directional sign at my listing that went live this morning. And she stopped and said, you know, how much is this going to be? Tell me about it. And I said, well, first, you know, tell me a little bit about you.
Oh,
Where are you at right now? And then we got to genuinely talking. To your point, it's not a transaction.
Mhm.
It is, we become counselors, life coaches. You know all the things that happen behind the scenes.
Right.
And if you don't have somebody good behind your back, I always tell every one of my clients that the lenders are the heart of every transaction. And if you don't have that heart pumping, and if you don't have a good team behind you, it can actually ruin relationships.
Oh, yeah.
It can cause so much turmoil and stress and horrific things to happen that I really do feel so honored when anyone chooses me to be their real estate professional to guide them through this journey, whether it being selling or buying or just getting started,
Right.
because it is a huge honor
It
to have
is.
anybody choose us,
It is.
because they're giving us so much power and strength in our knowledge and our expertise that I get giddy about it. I don't care what the price point is. It just matters to me that we move in a positive direction moving forward.
Yeah.
That just
I
reminds
don't know
me.
if I answered any of your question, by the way.
No,
But
you
about
did.
50-50 for
You
buyers
did.
and sellers.
Yeah.
So it's about building trust, right?
Yes.
You know, that just reminds me, we're working with somebody right now and she's like, oh, I get anxious every time you want a phone call. I'm like, oh, please don't. We are your team. We are on your side. We want this for you just as much. And let's figure out a way to make it happen. Sometimes it's not the straight path. Sometimes you take a little bump, a little wave, a little curve, you know, on that road, but the end goal is the same. And you're rooting for them, you know. You're rooting for them, and it just it drives me crazy that, like, who is mean to this person that nobody's been kind to you, you know? And that makes you try that much harder, because to be kind doesn't take much.
No.
To be kind and to communicate does not take much at all.
Yeah.
And so I guess I take that personal when, like, hold on here. I'm kind to you. I want to talk to you. And so, and if somebody hasn't done that to this person or for that person, it's like, it makes you want to rally behind them that much more. So,
and show them how it should be. Yes.
So, and that's where that
Okay.
trust is built.
I always love when you call me. Side note.
Oh, sweet. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Not me so much.
Not so much.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
I bring him in. Rob's here too. We get that. Rob's
You
here
do
too.
that a
I know.
lot,
Rob's here too.
The air just leaves the room.
I
Like,
know.
oh God.
No.
Yeah, weird.
Not at all.
I'm teasing.
Well, and that's what you're modeling for your kids too,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So they see that. They see how kind you are to people, and they see how, you know, I go back to, there was a time where I was at the grocery store with our boys, and there was this lady trying to get bottles of water underneath her cart. It was older. She was older, and the cart was lower. And I just looked over and I said, "Oh, excuse me, do you want me to help you with that?" And she didn't know how to take it. And I said, "Oh, I'll just, I'm down here. I can come get it myself." And she's like, "Well, thank you so much. I was wondering how I was going to do that." I said, "Oh, it's no problem. Let me help you." And so then we took her cart, and my boys were like, "Mom, why did you do that?" I said, "Because she looked like she needed some help, and it's okay." And they were like, "Huh." So your kids watch you, and it's very important. And I feel like I saw that with my mom and my dad, and Dad was very willing to help. And my dad never knew a stranger, but and so I kind of
So
go back to
where
that.
she gets it
Yeah.
from.
He was a silent teacher, as silent as he was, but there was those moments where it's like, "Oh, okay." So it's kind of ingrained, and your kids will do the same thing.
They
as well.
better.
They
Right.
I'm not gonna give them a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and we've been at some open houses of yours, and your kids have stopped by.
Yeah. So
we're
sweet.
we're a
So
true
sweet kids.
believer that there's nothing that we're going to necessarily hide from our kids, both good and bad, because pain can be an amazing teacher.
Yes.
So, and success is something that you want to show in spite of, right? And so, yeah, this is, I lost this deal. It didn't feel good, because they're hearing the conversations we're having, right?
Oh yeah.
Because often we're at home, it's evening or weekends. And
Yeah.
so if we're frustrated, it's like, well, we tried and we lost out. Okay, on the next one type thing. And so, I think showing that and being an example is more than just, okay, well, we're the adults and the parents and the kids are, they're going to already know. The society with information, immediate anyways, you might as well be that filter and let them ask the questions of you versus trying to figure out some of that stuff on their own. They're still going to figure it out on their own, but you know what I mean? So, our kids have seen what we're doing and they're interested in real estate and mortgage as well. I don't know if that's good or bad. I think it's good, right? Because, I think they would do amazing. But yeah, it's a family affair, and again, your husband bringing the kids by, and it's like, it's not your house. You're sitting there for a couple hours holding it open for your clients, but it's like when families walk in and they see your family there, it's like,
right,
this is our home, right? It feels lived in. It feels, so your kids are cute. Your husband's, really nice. And it's just, I think it helps when they're part of you. It exposes who you are. You're a mom, you're a wife, you're a daughter, and you work with your mom as well, who's, your sidekick, right?
Yes.
Right. She's a hired gun. She
is. Yeah.
You bring her in.
I met your mom in an open house.
Oh,
that's how we started talking.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And then she
We
said
just
that you
hit it
were
off.
married to Rob, and I'm like, Rob who? I know Rob.
Yeah.
And she's like, Rob Blair, and I was like, I haven't talked with him in a while.
Yeah.
She, oh my gosh,
Yes.
she raved about you.
Oh,
for,
so sweet.
she still does, but she raved about you, and she just kept saying, Brooke, you will love her.
Oh.
Like, you don't understand. You are going to love her. She is so wonderful.
Great. Oh, that was very kind of her.
I love that you guys stopped by my open house. It's just side note.
Yes.
I think it's so awesome and so great. And sometimes, it's just me.
Yeah, right?
Kind of hanging out, cleaning things,
crawling
doing some
through
marketing
windows.
videos.
Wasn't there crawling
Oh
through
my
windows
gosh.
episode?
Yes.
You really do need to do the episodes of Brooke or something.
Oh my gosh, that was horrible. That was over in Maple Valley.
Yes,
I remember that.
yes. Got locked
Train
out.
got locked
had
out.
to see this. These are the things you go the extra mile. You will go through
breaking
that
and
window.
entering.
Moving,
moving.
cleaning,
Yeah.
yes.
We hold junk.
Dog sitting, cat sitting, all the things, that
Nice.
are behind the scene things. But yeah, no, I did. I was so lucky I was able to get through that window.
Oh boy! Did they ever
so...
comment on the video?
No, I ended up telling them after it closed.
Oh, I love it.
Over a bottle of wine.
Oh, perfect.
Because it was like on the Ring camera.
Oh yeah,
wasn't
it was totally on the Ring camera. Of course it was. Like
awesome.
half of, and the worst part is that there was like a line of people to get into the open house.
Oh,
that
that's
had just
right.
Started.
That's
and
right.
I was like, why don't you guys walk around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Let's go into the backyard, and then I'll open it up from
get
the
rid of the
back
witnesses.
slider.
Good job.
And I was
See?
wiggling my body through the front.
Was that really the
window.
house that you were selling? No, okay. I'm just breaking.
Yeah.
Just selling random
Oh my
houses.
gosh. I mean, I will. That's
Well,
not a
yeah,
bad idea.
right? It's one way to get.
One way to do it.
Oh, I love
But
it.
no,
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I can't believe you remember that.
I know.
So funny.
Do I remember?
Well, it's not every day you talking to someone that just broke into the house.
Right? Yeah.
Or-
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my
At least you didn't kick the
goodness.
door in. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
No.
probably another.
No,
option.
and they were very wonderful, sweet clients, but man, did they have a hard time. It was at the height
Yes.
of the seller's market, and they had to sell their home and purchase, and
Oh, yes.
going in contingent.
Mhm.
And they were very specific on what they wanted.
Yep.
But I will tell you what, every single time that there is a no, it is closer to the yes.
Yeah.
And I am a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, because the house that they ended up with after us making 17 offers in a
Wow.
contingent market and putting our
Mhm.
best foot forward every time, I swear to you, it was the best house they could have ever had.
Oh, see,
And
that's
so
just
it
that wasn't- Yep.
all the no's lead to the one yes.
Mhm.
That is the one that I think is the plan for the people in the family for the home.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I don't really get too upset when I do get a no, because I just feel like it's closer to the yes.
Mhm.
And so for me, I think that going through that crazy seller's market,
Mhm.
it didn't affect me in such a negative way. It more just sharpened my tools, and it just made me realize that what is going to happen is going to happen for the correct reason, and I just need to trust in the process.
I
And so I
love
love
what you
that.
just said right there.
Oh.
It sharpened your tools. The no, it wasn't a negative.
Yeah.
It sharpened your tools.
Yeah, there was no.
Sometimes the redirection
negative.
is the best
Yes.
answer. I love that.
Goes back
I
to
love
the
that.
kids, right? We got to
Mhm.
redirect them.
We got to redirect.
Yeah.
I love that. No, that's perfect. I
Well,
love that you
and
said that.
we take on our clients. I mean, they're exposing everything financially, right? And then some of
Yeah.
that leads into some personal history, because I mean,
Yeah.
bankruptcy, divorce, whatever that might be, right?
Right.
And so there's some touchy things there. And so, when we are making offers and there's very little inventory, 7 months right now,
Right.
we still have a supply and demand issue. Affordability is still kind of an issue. That's why we're not seeing it as crazy as it potentially could be.
Yeah.
We saw a little bit of a taste of that. Was at the end of January. It got like to 5 in the high fives, and we got like 4 under contract that like in 2 days, and then
Yes.
rates bumped back up, and everyone's like, I'm gonna sit on the sidelines. So it was a glimpse, and that it's exciting, but it's a little scary. And to your point, like when we originally started this whole thing out, is we got to do it now.
Yeah.
Now is the time.
Right.
That we need inventory, right? And rates have been improving. The market is crazy. Banks are failing, right? Fed's going to raise rates. They're not going to raise rates. I mean, all this stuff, it's just highly, highly volatile, but you have to stay consistent. And when we're working with people, there's that emotional piece of it, because when we have the initial conversation with them, it's like, this is the first time we're going to have this conversation. It's the only time that we can have this conversation where there's no emotion involved. You might be a little embarrassed, you might be a little excited, whatever, but you haven't seen a home yet. You haven't walked through it. You haven't envisioned your family there, holidays, birthdays, whatever that might be. That's when emotion kicks in. It's
Right.
human nature. We've experienced it.
Oh, yeah.
But we can talk about the logical side of it. We can talk about the numbers and how this is an amazing investment for you and what you're comfortable with. So let's handle that now, so we don't have to deal with this anxiety attack of walking in, Brooke's showing me this house, and you can't look at the house because you're afraid that you may not qualify for it because you don't know what the payment is. We want you to know what the payment is down to the cent before you walk in the front door.
Yep.
Now you're justifying whether you're going to make an offer on it, whether maybe that payment is a couple $100 more a month than what we said your comfort level was. Well, now you're justifying $200 more a month.
Right.
Okay, well, I can cancel my gym membership and do a home gym because it's got an extra room. I can do that. It's closer to work. It's just, we want to help with the shopping aspect of it, but we also want to walk them down that path of like, we have to get all this stuff out and iron out and go through this process so you understand without a shadow of a doubt what this is going to look like when you walk in that front door, because your perception changes immediately.
Right.
And so being that advocate, being that voice, being that coach, that mentor, all that stuff can take a toll on us as well. Right. And you, especially when we're really excited and we know they love that house and they miss out because there's 19 other offers or they're outbid. And so, we're in the trenches with them. It's hard to keep on saying, just trust me, we'll get you into a home. But most of the time we're getting them in a home. I mean, it's very rare that we don't, I guess is,
I agree. I completely love that you guys prepare them for the reality. And I think that the number one step that a lot of people miss is that they don't sit down with a lender to start the process, when that should be step one, is connect with a lender you know, like, and trust, or that your realtor loves and know, likes, and trusts. Because that is, like I said earlier, you guys are the heartbeat. You guys are the way that the thing gets done. So that's why I do my buyer consultations. Same thing. I want you to not see a contract for the first time at 8:30 at night when your anxiety is super high, you're super excited, and you're just clicking through buttons. You need to know what contract you're signing and what it actually says. And I want to show that to you before we even go on our first tour. We are sitting down. I'm learning your personality type. I am learning the why behind why you want to purchase a home, why it's important to you at this time. And I am going to set you up for success to not have any surprises during that. And I feel like that is critical on your end and on mine to have a very good relationship when they do find the one. And if the timing's right and if it's the house they're supposed to be in, then you've seen it. It all falls into place. And it's just like, this is how it's supposed to be. Because this is the one for you. But I think taking those steps up front like you guys do is vital in the success of the buyers on the other side, for sure.
100%.
Nobody likes surprises, especially when it comes to money at the end.
Yes.
Like, that is the worst, in my opinion. So I love that you guys do that.
We like good surprises, not bad ones.
It's going to be a few $100 less than we thought. Because your
Like,
agent was so amazing. She got
That's
closing costs that
that's
we
what
weren't
we
expecting.
say about you.
I love the negotiating part. That's my favorite.
So what are you projecting this year? What are you seeing with inventory? I mean, I 1.7 months right now is, I think, the last I read 2 days ago. A typical market is, you'll see anywhere from 4 to 6 months. So we have very low supply, and that supply can be interesting, right? May not be the types of homes that people are necessarily able to afford or don't want to buy. Right. So what are you projecting? In your opinion, where do you see this a year from now? Like, where do you expect this year to kind of turn out? I mean, based on what you've seen.
I feel like we're going to be pretty steady for the next few months. And then I do really believe that there's going to be more inventory coming towards the end of spring, early summer, like we typically used to see, 6-7 years ago when we'd have those seasonal markets and the ups and downs. But I think that the sellers have been pretty darn lucky for such a really long time. I would love to see the buyers get a little bit of help and to have it be a bit more balanced out. So I'm really hoping that by mid-November, December, we'll start to see a more balanced market with more inventory that maybe was overpriced to begin with in the summer, that's sitting for a while, with price reductions coming down and negotiations starting to happen, and hopefully more people jumping on right before the holidays to be able to give those buyers potentially that extra edge. But I still think if you're a buyer, not to wait around. Interest rates, I know they're supposed to go up again in April for jumbo loans anyway. I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like there is never going to be a time again in my life that I'll probably see 2.99%. I think we could maybe get into the mid 4s, low 5s. I feel like that's more realistic.
Yes.
But if you're somebody who's on the fence because you're waiting for it to go back into the 2s and 3s, I think, sorry, I mean, we missed that boat, and now we just got to get on the boat that's right here in front of us. And our sellers, as long as you're pricing in that sweet spot at fair market value, you are going to be probably getting offers within the first week, if not 2 or 3 right now.
Yeah.
So I really think it's going to stay pretty even, and maybe have a bit up to the 3 and 4, maybe 5-month inventory marker towards the end of the year. But past that, I just don't know.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Well, I think going back to the 2s, yeah, that was great. But also you were paying what, $100,000 over in some cases,
Right.
Like, take your pick, right?
Right.
So yeah, I definitely don't, like you said, and I feel like a lot of that was artificial too, right? I think it was very much artificial, and it was pushed that way. And so, but I think the 4s, high 4s, 5s, that's realistic.
Right.
That's even into the 6s is very realistic.
Yes.
So, you just have to, and with your negotiating skills, I mean, this is when you guys have fun. You guys actually get to negotiate.
So much fun, yes.
Right?
Get to work versus like just throwing offers out there and highest and best, offer a review date. I mean, it's like a parrot, just keep on over and over and over again. One of them we lost out on in January.
Yeah.
We picked up another house, I think the next day or whatever, but
the following week, yes.
there was the listing had an offer review date.
Yeah.
And
what?
Like, did the agent just copy and paste this from like a year ago? But they had an offer, and I was like, that's weird. I haven't seen that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost like dog years right now. A day is like a week, but it's just interesting. It's strange times. And so everyone's trying to have this Nostradamus, crystal ball that this is where it's going to be. I asked you that because your finger's on the pulse of what you're talking to sellers before we even see it, right? You kind of have that. You've been doing it 23 years. You're going to have a decent database of people that life events are happening. And I think, in my opinion, the people that are making those moves are because of life events,
right?
Marriage, death, divorce, job change.
Yep.
Right?
A lot of relocations right now happening.
Yep. We're licensed in multiple states just because of that. I mean, we have, I mean, 2 of my loans right now are Arizona and Idaho.
That's so cool.
It's crazy, but I mean, it's not crazy, but it's just people are moving.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we kind of figured out where most of our clients were going and where that need was, and like, yeah, let's become experts there. Let's figure that out so we can help you.
Yeah.
That was super smart that you guys did that.
Well, and I think that's probably next.
Times, right?
Yeah. And I think that's even next for you.
Oh yeah, big time.
Getting licensed in other states so you can serve your clients, or at least understand the market down there to where if it's a warm handoff and you really know that this person knows what they're going to do, right?
I have so many good agents scattered throughout the country.
Yeah, you're pretty networked right?
Yes, I love being able to connect my current clients with like a really good agent wherever they're going, and just know that they're in good hands and that they're going to have the process that they can have when you're doing a relocation, which is pretty daunting and scary, and moving across state lines is a lot. So I think that to make sure that portion of it isn't adding to their stress level and their plate is so important.
Especially since you started at 18. That's incredible. I mean, you have so much knowledge under your belt. No, that's
I've seen a lot of things.
Steps of, I bet.
I've seen
steps ahead, like leaps and bounds ahead of people. So wow, good for you.
Oh,
so
what triggered that? Like,
so this is gonna get a little bit personal. And Mom, I apologize now.
Okay.
But when
we love her and respect her, so
I love her too. She's such a fighter. So when I was around 15, my parents went through a pretty yucky divorce. And I was the only one of my siblings that stayed with my mom. And it was
Gotcha.
hard times. And I'll just kind of say it was hard times.
Sure.
And she had very little money left in the bank. And she decided that she was going to take all the money that she had left to go take a real estate exam. And I remember her at the kitchen table just praying
Oh,
and
bless
just
her heart.
crying and cramming for this real estate exam.
Yes.
Goes back to what you said, your kids see you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And by the grace of God, and she'll tell you that herself, she passed a real estate exam. And she got connected with this really great builder, God rest his soul, but his name was Joe Nassif, and he was a builder in Seattle. And she became his agent. And I got to see my mom go from literally that kitchen table to building a $1 million home from the ground up
Wow.
off of real estate and being a great agent. And so when I was graduating high school, I graduated pretty early, but when I graduated, I thought, oh my gosh, why would I want to go to anywhere that had a cap? I want no ceiling. I want to be able to be like my mom and
Good
be able
for
to
you.
build whatever vision I have, whatever future I can see.
Yeah.
And so that's why I got licensed at 18. And that's why, at 16, I was cleaning the toilets and emptying the garbages at the John L. Scott and being the assistant on the weekends and working at real estate offices as the janitor on the
Right,
weekends because
yeah.
I just wanted to be around
Yes.
real estate.
Absorbing it all.
Yes.
Wow. I'm like,
And then
I want to cry, number one, because it's amazing. And your mom
It's
worked so hard and you
full-
watched that and like, wow.
and I'm so grateful because I had, before that, real estate had never even entered my brain.
Yeah.
But seeing how it can change someone's complete life and everything was just incredible. And then, after being licensed for 10 years, I became the managing broker of a really large firm. And I mentor, teach, and train. And then I got clock hour certified. And I've been on the board of directors. And I've helped with forms. And I write forms. And I've been on the forms committee. And I love to teach, train, and mentor. And then I became a ninja director, which I think I told you guys a little bit about, which I love. If you don't know about what ninja selling is, if you're a lender, an appraiser, real estate, really any profession could, it's basically like Tom Ferry and Brian Buffini, but elevated in an abundance, grateful, gratitude package. But it's all based off of attracting what you want and giving back more than you. Like giving back is serving is kind of the heart and soul of what the ninja selling tools are all about, and having a sphere that's all repeat and referral based. So
we're gonna have to talk more about that for sure.
Yes. So that's kind of how I got into real estate, though, was just watching that, and it had such a magnificent impact on where I'm at today that I'll just never forget her at that table. And just knowing how different things could have been if she didn't pass that test.
What a tribute.
So pretty cool.
So you're talking about generational wealth right there.
Right.
Like that was, you lived it.
Right.
You lived it and you're showing it and you're.
Yeah.
I'm wowed right now. I didn't know that about you guys. And I not that I don't appreciate you in baseline, but knowing that it just, I am a girl that I appreciate hard work.
Yes.
And just knowing that just makes me want to give you guys an extra big hug after that, because it's that for me, that speaks volumes. And I appreciate the work ethic and the hard work because nothing else beats that.
Nothing gets
hard
you here.
work
Yes.
trumps
everything. Yeah.
You could be the smartest person in the room, but the person that's working hardest in the room, that's the person that's going to be successful.
It's the one who stays up until midnight to list her listings because she wants them to be on the market for the full 24 hours when it hits the 0-day on market. I've done that for over 10 years. I stay up until midnight 01, so my listings go live exactly at midnight because my clients deserve that extra 7 or 8 hours that
Yes.
most people
Mhm.
don't maybe do.
true.
So it's that go-giver mentality.
Yep.
If you can give just that little extra bit, if you can show up and just do an extra little something for each one of your clients, I think it really does magnify everything.
Well, and that's why your clients come back to you. And that's
Well,
why
and the Seahawks
their
calendars.
kids and the Seahawks calendars.
No.
We appreciate you coming in and obviously, taking some time out of the day,
I'm still
but
well right now.
but showing who you are is, I said at the very beginning, we started talking to our friends, interviewing our friends in this capacity, and the stories that we're hearing and the information they're getting based on just what they've overcome, that's the success piece of it, right?
Right.
It doesn't mean that you're the number one agent in America. It doesn't mean that we're the number one loan originators in America. It's what did you overcome?
Yeah.
I mean, success is different for everyone, but that's pretty profound to me, because I just,
Learn
to
something
Alvina's
new.
point, to Alvina's point, I mean, the hard work, that's the one thing that we can control, and also the mindset.
Yes.
I mean, it's easy to quit. It's easy to roll over. It's easy to just go try to find a 9 to 5 job. But even the fact that she was praying and working so hard just to get her license, it's 100% commission,
Right.
right?
Right.
So she still has to work. She still has to figure that out. So it wasn't done then. I mean, she's newer to the industry. We had our 1-year anniversary.
Yeah.
But
February.
it's like she's drinking from the fire hose right now, because everything is restricting and everything is changing. And it's like, I mean, it's like she's absorbing all this stuff. And I mean, so she's, through osmosis, she's getting a lot of my, knowledge,
Yeah.
and the, the office is amazing. They're helping out, and, so we're blessed
Everybody's
there,
great.
but we're working.
Exactly. You
We're
have to put in
working
the hard work.
constantly at night, weekends, because that's when real estate happens.
Well, and I will say for her, she had she had just adopted my sister's little one during that time. So
Yeah.
she and I were,
Wow.
basically raising this little amazing human
Wow.
as she was starting this new career and, going through probably one of the hardest times of her life. And so you talk about hard work and perseverance and putting
Yes.
yourself in the right opportunity, and then grabbing that opportunity and making it the most that you can. And now still,
Yeah.
now she's way ahead of me. She's
Yeah.
a good 7 years ahead of me, probably.
It's the grit that you guys made happen.
Well, you should have seen her today.
Where
She was sweating more than I was sweating. She was like, "That rug is crooked.
She had the
Lift up that couch
she had
again.
the
I need
heavier
to
end of the
change
couch
that."
is what it was.
Yes.
I love
She's like, "Come on, hold your end up."
She's
But-
like,
Yeah,
that
but
doesn't go there. It goes over here. We
Yeah.
need to feng shui this.
Yes.
But no, I love that she's
Well, that's
also
why
now
your
a
listings look
stager.
amazing,
Yes.
Yeah.
And
right?
so, I mean, it's nice to be able to have a stager
Yes.
as part of your team, and
Yeah.
somebody who's been doing it this
Mhm.
long, and who also is a complete opposite
Incredible.
personality type. So
Well, it needs to be, right?
yeah, so
needs to
she's
be.
the sweet one when we go to show our client. She's the one who's like, "Oh, let's look around, let's do this," and
Yeah.
I'm the one who's like, "You either like it or you don't. If
Yeah.
you don't,
Yeah.
let's go. Let's
Yeah.
hit the road." A lot nicer than that,
Oh,
but
Sure. No,
let's go.
you're
Let's
good.
go.
Well,
Yeah.
that's why you guys are a great team.
Yes, the
Yeah.
yin and
You know?
yang.
Yeah.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
well, Brooke, thank you again.
Yes.
This was fun. We'll have to
It was so
get your
fun.
mom in here too at some point.
Oh
if
my
she's
gosh!
open.
Next episode,
Oh,
yes.
would
Well,
that be
maybe have a flight.
awesome? I would
We'll have a
love-
flight
And
next
flight,
time.
definitely
And
have
a
a
flight.
flight.
Yeah.
Flight of wine.
Flight
Yeah.
of whatever Eric recommends.
Yeah.
Yes,
Flight of
Mr. Eric.
something.
Yes.
Rounds on you, buddy.